Good evening, good evening, good evening. It's Sunday clock, 7 o'clock Sunday night. We're live. Man, what a great day. We have a really great topic for you guys tonight. Really great topic for you guys tonight. So, whatever you do, don't forget to join the conversation, share the podcast. Tonight's show topic is relationships. How much should they cost? If you want the absolute exact truth, I'm gonna wait and give it to you later. But I wanted to start with this definition because I think that this definition explains this topic way better than I can. And so what I did was shout out to whoever this dictionary, whoever definition this came from. Yeah, just like that. Variance. The word is variant. It means the fact or quality of being different, divergent, or inconsistent. The state or fact of disagreeing or quarreling. A discrepancy between two statements or accounts. A quantity equal to the square of the standard deviation. And just like that was a wide range in that scope of the definition of the word variance, so is this topic tonight because relationships just doesn't mean man versus woman. Now it's a multitude of different kinds of relationships that we either have been or will be a part of the majority of all of them. So after this after this little commercial break, we'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Topic for tonight's show is relationships. How much should they cost? Again, we have some of our regulars on tonight. Top left is Grayson Girl 1. Below her is old ball coach Chad Wilson. To Chad's immediate right is our legend. She's a life off the bench legend. She's also the pastor. In the two corners opposite of each other, man, we got our sociologists, our psychologists. They're the brains of the organization. They tell me everything to do, and I just do it the fifth time. I have to make sure I listen the first 4 times to get it right, but then that 5th time, I'll be right on it. Hi, everyone.
Good evening.
Hello.
I'm very happy to be here.
Say that again.
I'm very happy to be here.
Man, you sounded just like Mr. Miyagi. Miyagi-san. Mm-hmm. Wiper on, wiper off.
Oh. Get it right. Right.
So, hey, we're gonna get started, and you know, I'm a guy that loves stew, beef stew, shrimp and potato stew. There's all kind of stews you can make in this world, clam chowder. But guess what? None of those stews leave you wanting more unless it has the right consistency. Consistency, man, that makes life so much easier, so much better, better. And that's what you have to have in relationships. And again, the variance of the relationship does not matter. It matters that, I want to say this off the top as well. In a relationship, even with your employer at work, it can be a 50-50 thing. I don't want half of anybody's 50. If you're giving me 50% of you, or of your time, or of your space, that means you have 50% to give to someone else as well. Now, is that fair to me when I'm trying to give you all 101% of me? Nah. So that's the first thing that we need to set out there to set to you know, you got that roux got to be fire, that roux got to be steaming in order to get the right consistency. In order to make it like your mama used to make it back in the day. All right? Anybody familiar with that? Anybody understand what it means to make that roux consistent so that when you take that first spoonful, when you taste testing it, you got something? Your definition, Brother Chad, of your thoughts of how can we make a relationship good?
How can we make a relationship with what?
Good.
Good. Well, I think in any relationship, you know, no matter what type of relationship it is, whether, you know, as when I talk to kids, you know, in my profession, when I talk to kids about relationships, you know, it's not necessarily kind of a girlfriend boyfriend thing, but also people who you come in contact with. If it's truly a relationship, it requires an investment and also a return, and it has to have some value to it. Otherwise, it's just a waste of time. So, in a simplistic form, you know, you have to sacrifice or give something of yourself. All right, with getting something in return, but also you don't want to be involved in a relationship or situation where it does not add value to the equation. So it has to add value, or else it's not worth your time. So.
Grayson Girl 1. Same question.
My computer went on mute. And just repeat that one more time for me, please. I was listening to Chad talk, so.
What is your definition that you think it takes to get consistency within a relationship?
One, I think it depends on the type of relationship that's been established, but there has to be loyalty, there has to be respect, commitment, discipline. Each person has to have an understanding of what the other person wants, needs, desires. And you say that's a lot, but it takes all of that and then some when you're trying to form any type of bond or commitment with a person, whether it be platonic, monogamous, or, all the different types of relationships that we have, and that we're able to explore in life. Even depending on the nature, male to male to female, age specific, all those relationships also form around maturity of the person that you are forming the relationship with. So there's a lot of things that go into it and a lot of work that has to be developed. If it's to be a quality relationship, and that work has to be done by both parties. Mutual agreement, mutual consent.
Great stuff, Grayson Girl One. Sissy Pooh, what you got for us? You muted.
I am, and I'm speaking. At our most humanistic level, relationships require that there's an exchange. And the exchange must be one that it meets our needs. So if you and I are in any relationship, period, we must have an exchange. If you are hungry and I am thirsty, then we must meet each other where our level of need is. I can't hear you if you're trying to feed me, but I'm thirsty. You can't hear me if you're hungry and I'm trying to give you something to drink. We have to meet each other where we are. So there must be some form of yoking, and the level of yoking must be something about adding value. So where that level of value is, come in the form of speaking to also what April said in terms of respect. And respect comes from when we actually have love for humankind, when we are able to see individuals as an authentic, intentional creation of the Creator. And when we are able to see that everyone is divinely designed by God, then we are able to respect one another, love one another, and be able to add value and meet the need of others, be above and beyond what they are for ourselves, because then we're able to see them, be able to add value, and be able to share and be in relationship, hear and meet all of the 5 needs: hear, taste, touch, smell, listen, and all those things. I read something today that listen and silent both have the same letters in them, and if you do both of them, then you're able to meet those needs in relationships.
Awesome sauce. So we'll get to that last because that's going to be probably the biggest discussion topic of relationships between the male and female. But let's start off with the relationship that ones have within the workforce. Uh, we know that sometimes work like life isn't fair. We know sometimes that work brings all kind of animosity and displeasure as well as joyous moments sometimes. What's the part of work that could always be a little better in an effort to build better relationships within the people that work in your workspace? Uh, Grayson Girl One.
So, establishing a relationship with people in the workplace, um, sometimes we tend to not like people for various reasons, and so we don't establish those relationships for whatever reason. But it's just like any other relationship. You have to figure out who that person is, what their desires, their needs are, and go from there. It's, it's kind of like you got to take that person that's at face value. Um, I may not agree with everything you say or do, but does that change who I'm going to be towards you? That change how I'm going to act or react towards you? Um, who's the person that you want them to see? Um, friendly, mean, arrogant, selfish people, all of that we take into context or con- context when we are evaluating people on our jobs. Sometimes we think people are arrogant because they seem to do very well in the job that they're in and they excel. So we don't want to be a part of them because they think they're better than everyone else. When no, it's not. I don't think I'm better than everyone else. I'm just pretty good at what I do. And I think sometimes we need to learn how to pat people on the back for that, for them being who they are in their respective areas. I ain't stepping out on the football field to try to coach or outcoach Chad when I've never been a coach. Yes, I've played sports, but I've never coached kids. I ain't stepping in the pulpit to run the church better than the niece when I've never been a pastor. Yes, I'm a minister, but I've never been a pastor. So I haven't been equipped to do some of the things that they are doing. But in our establishing relationships with these people, maybe we should join forces to try to learn, hey, how did you get to this point? What did you do to become good in this area or better? Well, there's some areas that you struggle with. We don't try to find out who that person is. We just move along based on what we see or we think we see.
Anise.
Oh, April. Oh, thank you, Hobart. You know, April, you said something so um, um, not triggering, but registering there is oftentimes we respond, and I say we, and I use that word as a generalization, is oftentimes people respond to others how we would respond to them if we were them. And that's how you get people with relationships that are adverse. Because if I had all that, I would be, they respond from a place of dislike, or it's not really dislike, but it's discomfort or dis-ease. This person's confidence or what I feel about them or what they exude makes me uncomfortable, so it makes me uneasy, so I'm going to treat them some kind of way versus getting skills or pointers or seeking them out for some type of mentorship or some type of leadership or not leadership, but some type of training or some type of understanding or some type of assistance. Rather, I'm going to, and most times people come from them at the bent of, you know what, this is secretly how I would behave if I had all of that. And I found that out just through the study of human behavior and sitting back and observing and watching people and realizing just in a few conversations. And I want to share something with someone that I had a conversation with someone that someone made a comment, and usually we share from our own personal testimonies, and then I'm going to answer that question, Brother Holbert. Someone said, they said, oh my goodness, you walk so this, so that, so this, and so this, and so that. And I said, oh, that's awesome. Thank you so much, right? And I said, I had to learn how to walk all over again. They said, oh, I thought it was this, that, and the other, and such. But because we never take the time to ask someone their story or to find out more information about someone, we base things on assumptions, or we jump to conclusions about other people's lives and their stories that we don't really get into relationships. And I'm so glad we're having this conversation on tonight, because we really do not take the time to get to know each other. So relationships, we have a lack thereof. So when you ask that question on tonight about workspaces and workplaces, people say, well, I just go there to do a job. But if we really are called to do what we're hired to do, we are supposed to do our work above and beyond what we're hired to do, because we're called in to do a job or to do a skill or display a skill set that's above and beyond anything that's pleasing to man, but to give glory unto the Father. And I don't know why I'm called to or being used to share this on tonight, but our work is not to please man, but it's to glorify our Father. So others should be able to be drawn to us, but if we do it with the arrogance that we will operate in ignorance, that it will repel others from coming to us. We should be approachable. We should open ourselves up to where others should be able to come and ask us. We should be able to have a space and a place where others should have an open door policy. But if you walking around looking like you got onions and prunes and swallowed all kind of jalapeno peppers where no one can even say anything to you, and you then who would? Then you're making for a volatile space. Food for thought.
You know, ANESE, that's a very, very great point. You know, when we're talking about the workplace, I know one of the things that I do is, or that we have to keep in mind is, like, what is the nature of our relationship? You know, I think sometimes we need to keep that in perspective from the very beginning, and then build upon it, because, and yes, you need to be approachable. You need to be approachable to be able to accomplish whatever task that job requires. And then from that, when you start building relationships with the people that you work closely with, then the relationships grow. I think sometimes, you know, people don't want relationships to grow within the workplace, and that creates different, you know, situations, you know, sometimes hostile and things. And I can't see working in a place for several hours a day, you know, years on end, and it not be a little bit more than just, you know, filing paperwork and dealing with customers. You know, they are supposed to see who you are and what type of person you are, and then from that, you know, that building of that relationship, other things will grow. And in order to grow, sometimes you have to be in somewhat unfamiliar, uncomfortable places, or spaces and everything. Nothing grows in barren, places. It always grows in, things like the soil has to be tilled and uprooted in order for things to grow. And that's the same thing with people. You have to open yourself up to be exposed to things that are not the same as what you got going on. All right. And then too, you also notice that you have a lot of commonalities rather than differences with the people that you come in contact with as well. But I think again, you have to first understand the terms of your association, the terms in which what brought you together, and then from there you could build from that common place. Hey, we work in the same place, we work in the same office, we have a common task that we have to accomplish, and then from the common task, you build rapport with one another, and then things start to grow. I just think about the relationship I have with one of my coaches that's about to retire here at school. Man, like I've been working with him since 2010, but he coached me actually when I was in 12th grade. So and that relationship has grown to be a thing where he has learned a lot from me, and I've learned a whole lot from him. So, but it wasn't something instant. It's something that grew over time because of his experience coupled with my experiences and our experiences together. So you just it has to be something that you mutually have to want, and it adds value to both persons.
I agree. Definitely.
Awesome job there, Chad, man. Great defining of what you see from workplace character. When you look at a POV from the workplace, things are bad, people are messy, people are antagonistic. How can you help change or convert people's way of thought in the workplace? Because again, some people come to work solely to be messy. Some people come to work solely to be antagonistic because they're unhappy and miserable in their everyday life. And you may hear me say that with every part of a relationship that we talk about tonight, because again, in every part of the relationship, you have somebody miserable. And we're not focusing.
Well, Brother Hobart, you didn't start from the beginning. You started at work before you started at home.
Well, again, I said that we would talk about the home relationship part last because that's going to be the biggest part of what we're dealing with here. So that's why I placed it at the back, because again, when we get the relationship, it's gonna get heavy. It's gonna be smoking.
Well, come on here. Come on,
Who's gonna be smoking for him?
I
love you, brother.
Girl one, and tell them, come on, because everyone doesn't come with the sole objective to be messy. Some folks come to work because they have nothing else to do. They need
and some come solely because they either every once a week or twice a week or once a month or bi-weekly, they go get something called their paycheck.
Absolutely. That's why they come to work. And it just so happens we might need to sandwich this thing. You can't hold it to the end. They have some things that are happening, and they're actually coming looking for that light at work. That might be the only light they see.
All right. Well, let's get right back to that. We're gonna exit out at this time, and let's do our medical minute now. so that we won't have to take a major stop again. All right. Thank you, guys.
Hi, everyone. I'm sorry I'm a little informal tonight, but again, I'm Raven Campbell Smith with Premier Health and Wellness in Natchez, Mississippi, bringing you a medical minute. I'm going to divert a little bit today because it is October and we drilled this month about breast cancer awareness and getting out screenings. So I wanted to jump on and just touch on the topic of what the panel is talking about tonight, which is loyalty. And the first thing I think about when I think about loyalty is mental health. How much should loyalty cost, or how important is mental health to you? So a lot of time in my practice, I see a lot of times that loyalty is can directly affect your mental health. So I believe that loyalty is something that should not affect your mental, physical, or spiritual health at all. Just when we put it into numbers, into facts, about 19% of Americans deal with some type of mental illness, with 4% being some type of serious mental illness. Number wise, to give you guys a factor of what that is, it's about 50 million Americans dealing with some type of mental illness or mental health problem. So when it comes to loyalty, if it compromises who you are, if it makes you second guess anything that's your core value or belief, it's just not worth it, in my opinion, as a medical provider. So saying all that to say, just if it affects your mentally, physically, spiritually, it's not worth it, because I've seen where mental stress has trickled down to physical stress. So again, we're going to do a little bit more on the medical side. Next week, we'll be talking about diabetes, but I wanted to tap in with the loyalty components to let you know that anything that affects your mental health is not important. Thank you. I'm here.
Hey, we're back. We're back. Again, continuing the discussion about how to convert workplace antagonistic behavior to a positive message to give everyone an opportunity to be at peace at work. You know, it's nothing more important than your peace. Nothing more important than what? Than your peace.
Peace.
So we're going to start with ANESE this time, our coach.
Nothing more than our peace when it comes to our mental health, or our peace
Work
of mind
environment.
at work
Yes.
environment.
Yes.
So what has to happen is you have to, as the first of all, understanding who you are. That has to be first. Be it if you are 14 in the workplace, you're 40, or you're 60 in the workplace. You have to know who you are and what it is that you are there to do. That has to be clear first. You have to have an understanding that you're brought on work on that site to do a position. In understanding that is first and foremost. Now, I'm so glad we had that medical minute, because oftentimes it does show up and you said something about, people are brought up, they come to work solely to wreak havoc and do all this stuff, and sometimes they don't. They do not know another way. They do not know another way, and that's honest and that's true, because they haven't been shown another way, and they're actually looking, reaching, living another way. There are some adults, and adults I mean over 21, that is all they've known for generations is mess. And by mess, I mean not proper professional protocol. And they've grown into messy adults. And that's all they know. Now, they have education, they have books, but they do not have professional etiquette because they've not been mentored into professionals. And so they carry that over because that's all they know. Some have not been shown a healthy way to be in relationships because they do not know how to interact in professional, healthy relationships, even with just colleagues, because they've not had that modeled for them. So they've coming looking for the Hobarts. They come looking for the Aprils. They come looking for the Chads. They come looking for someone somewhere to look at. And they may seemingly be mocking those that are around them, but they're secretly taking notes. Has anyone witnessed that before? I mean, come on, somebody. This the preacher in me. I need a boom shakalaka laka.
Boom shakalaka laka laka.
We do it at the church. We get a boom, shakalaka boom.
It's up to us to continue to let your light shine. You can't dim your lights by someone else's behavior. You have to continuously press toward the mark. So you have to realize that no matter what is happening to you, you got to realize what's happening through you while you are here on your job, in your school, wherever you are. So if we still talk about our workplaces, we still got to shine on and be that conduit in the relationships that we are in. Up the chain, down the chain, across the chain, wherever we are, we still have to shine and keep the peace. Drop the mic.
And I will say, anything that disrupts your peace costs too much, because your peace is too valuable to allow anyone or anything to disrupt it or cause it to have you to have a breakdown. Or, I've talked to people every day and they say, man, I never thought calling the federal government. I would talk to somebody like you. Where are you from? And I say, well, I just treat people like I would like to be treated. And it's not contingent on how you treat me. Sometimes they call and they be cursing before I get on the phone good. And I just be sitting there and they be like, are you there? Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. I'm here. Well, did you hear me? Yes, I was just waiting on you to finish so I could see how I could help you or best way to assist you. And then when they get off the phone call, they be like, well, man, that's not how I expected that call to go. Can I have your extension? I was like, no, I don't got time for no new friends today. That's the joke in it, to kind of bring them back around. Sometimes we have to negotiate what we want in other people because, like ANESE said, they haven't been taught the professional etiquette to be able to come to work and know that, yeah, sometimes you go through some stuff. Sometimes the people you deal with go through some stuff. We all have issues. We all have things that weigh us down sometimes, but that's not the consistency of the job.
So, man, great outro to Anese's intro. And so at this point, we're going to move a little bit further ahead to relationships based upon friendships. Man, again, I can attest to this because I'm probably a really hard person to be in friendship with. Because
don't say that.
I know I've been a friend that people have used in the past. So now my guard is always up. But the people that are in friendship with me, they know without a doubt I'm 100% down with them, like 4 flat tires for whatever the case or cause may be. And so, again, as in the workplace, I know dudes that are more messier than women. I know dudes who act a lot like women. And that's just
what does that mean? What does that mean?
He asked for that. He asked for that.
People, not gender. Mess is not gender specific.
Because I've learned that some men are more messier than women and they talk too much.
Mess is not gender specific. Mess is mess. Water seeks its own level. You will not be doing that tonight, Hobart Grayson. The third.
So I'll be Hobart Grayson the third because that's who Anna Ruth. Hobart named me.
What, the
Grayson
fourth,
the
fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth?
I named Hobart the fourth. Hobart the fourth.
What number you want to be tonight?
I'm gonna be number 3 every day, but in this case, I'm waiting on number 5. You hear that, son? Number 5. Thank you. For real though, like there are men who have tendencies to act like women in friendship. You're muted. I can't hear you. Keep fussing. Fuss right on.
You will not. N-O-T not. You will just say that there are some men that keep up chaos. And God is not a God of chaos and confusion. Period.
No matter what the gender is.
You will learn tonight.
All right.
I need to finish this statement real quick, and I'm gonna be done with it. There are men who act more like women. They have feminine qualities and traits and feminine characteristics. I'll take my fussing now, but I had to say it.
Ooh wee!
I'll get my fussing. I'll live with that.
Yeah, that's your friend.
You're muted again. I can't hear
How
you.
much better do you feel? Because guess what? That's not fair. That's not better. That's not fair. Because of the simple fact that confusion is confusion, chaos is chaos.
This is the part I like to get to right here. This is the part I absolutely was glad about the show about. So, in this process, I don't make people act like the alternative of who God created them to be. If it was up to me, everybody would be solid. But
then just say not solid or solid. You don't have to make them the other gender.
No, they made themselves the other gender. Like Sissy said, it's some dudes who gossip and tattle more than women do. So when you step, and this has nothing to do with LGQTBINGRS.
You didn't even have to go there.
I just wanted to be certain we're not talking about what's it called?
Put that disclaimer back up there again.
The one that he obviously hasn't read. That's Jaz's friend.
Hey, y'all, let me read this to y'all.
And I want him to spell disclaimer correctly.
For purposes
that would be helpful, wouldn't it?
I just want to get the for purposes of critical.
April.
I can't get it out, y'all.
Right, because it's not right.
You know what? I'm gonna tell you. I think I know what he's trying to say. He just not saying it right.
No.
At all.
Chad,
Chad, don't do it.
Anese, that's his friend. Let his friend bail him out.
Don't do it, dog.
Let him have that unless you know unequivocally what that script is gonna say. Don't do it.
I don't know what the question is.
Nobody knows what's gonna be in this.
Look, I don't know what the question was gonna be. I know what was being said.
Don't do it. Don't do it. He came out the gates going backwards.
I absolutely went in the
but hold up. I'm gonna tell you, because I know who he is and how he behaves and what he says. I think I know where he's going with it, but But listen. What he's saying is they got guys that do some wild stuff, and it's just
now that one sounds better. Doesn't that sound better?
And uncharacteristic of what, you know, how guys carry themselves.
Nope. Now there you go. You going?
Well, but this is what I'm saying. Like,
just say there are people with some unstand-up-ish characteristics.
Yeah, but
excuse me, Chad. Excuse me. I hate interrupting people, but I just have to say this too as well. In Illinois, there may be men who act in a manner that men are supposed to act, and I applaud them. But here in Louisiana, it's women that act worse than it's men that act worse than women.
But I don't understand that though.
They're comfortable sitting in that seat, and that's the problem I probably got with it. Again, it's certain standards that we as men are supposed to have, and again, sometimes, like you said, people don't get the right example of what a man should be. Not my fault, but that's just how it is. And so in the process of this thing, in friendship and relationship, again, I don't care if a dude gives me 100% of him that I'm buddies with. Because in that instance, you can walk away. You do not have to remain in a personal friendship with anyone. You do not have to remain in a personal friendship with anyone. And so now that we've gotten that out the way, what is it about friendships, relationships, brotherhood, sisterhood that means the most to you guys, that help you guys be glad to, with your closest friends, say, hey girl, hey, what's up, my dude? Just hitting you up. How you doing today?
So if you're asking me, like, what's the characteristics of a good friendship, then, fellowship is one of the aspects of it, and truth. I think truth. I don't want to hang around a person that tells stories unless they an author, or tells untruths. So, and again, it goes back to what we originally said with all relationships. There has to be some value in the relationship. So, so that person adds value to your life. Then it's a good characteristic of a relationship. No one wants to be, led astray or told untruths all the time. So, truth and fellowship is the base for me, is the basis of great relationships. And then, I guess too, in being able to accomplish tasks, again, what's the nature of your relationship? Like I said, I got coaching, but I explain this to kids at school. Like, I have coaching buddies. All I do is coaching stuff with them. That's the nature of our relationship. I have, I don't know, in different aspects of my life, I have different types of friends, and the nature of our relationship is the function of our relationship. So I think too, you need to keep that in perspective as it relates to, your friendships. And I think it becomes difficult when the expectations aren't mutual. You don't have an understanding of what the expectations of the relationship are.
April, Grayson Girl 1, your turn. Did you get the question?
Somewhat. What I expect in friendships is just what I give, 100% of me. And I expect you to give me that same thing in return with, as Chad said, truth, honesty, um, fellowship. Um, if I'm out in left field, I'm gonna need you to reel me back in. Sometimes you can't worry about how my feelings gonna be when you reel me back in, but know that one thing that the Bible talks about is those whom he loves, he chastises. And even though Jesus himself had to chastise the people that were with him, he did it in love. And so, in our friendships, even if you got to say something to me that I may not like or I may not agree with, it ain't as much as what you say, but how you say it. Um, sometimes people fall out because you tried to front on me. You didn't try to embarrass me in front of everybody else. It was the way and the manner in which you said it. You know, we all laugh and joke at Hobart. Hobart is who Hobart is. He's been Hobart for as long as I can remember, which has been all my life and all of his life. Uh, he just said how it come up and come out. And if you're gonna be his friend, you gotta take him as it is, just like he come, rough around the edges and all. I don't even think you can try to smooth them out because you may frustrate yourself. But I know that he does a lot of stuff out of love, out of care, out of concern, empathy, compassion. You see me? I see you. And so what gives, um, he gives hard. Uh, I've seen that in him mentoring young kids, training them, offering his services to them. I've seen him just video kids that may not be in the spotlight in high school athletics when nobody else took the time out to do that for them or show them, hey, you need to get yourself out here in this prospect. But that's who he is. Um, I hear Chad always talking about how he works with the kids at his school, the kids on his football team, and I know the love that he has
Huh?
for them. But does that not mean
See cashier for what? Receipt?
that does not mean that
You ain't put no
doesn't
gas in.
he doesn't have to scold them? Anish, you hot. That doesn't mean that he doesn't have to scold them sometimes or discipline them. Um, my kids didn't always like the things that I did to them, but it was in my words of my mama, you may not like what I do for you, but it's good for you. Spoil the child, spare the rod, spoil the child. So you have to take a lot of things in consideration in these friendships. Um, but definitely, I'm gonna have my peace. I'm gonna have my. We're gonna show each other we love each other. We're gonna be there. We might laugh sometime. We might cry sometime. Me and the one in the upper left, me and him, we're gonna fight all the time. That's just us. But we've been rocking since 70 and 71. And like he said, there's some friendships that they can't change, they can't alter. They are who they are. He's my brother, but he's my friend. He tells folks all the time I'm his BFF. I don't know where he got that from. Chad, can one of y'all pick up that mantle?
I don't know, because one of the cool things about it, we might fuss one day, but then, or we might have enough of one another. Be like, hey man, I'm just gonna talk to you tomorrow. All right, man, talk to you tomorrow. So I mean, I guess too, having that, I think that's very essential as well. Knowing when enough is enough, and respecting that boundary. That's what true friends and good friends do too. Hey, when I done had enough of you, you done had enough of me. Hey, look, it's just like when you go to the basketball court and you start fighting, and then one person take their ball. I'm going home. And when they come back the next day, we're gonna play with the same ball. So
Right.
Hey, but to be honest though, Chad, we probably ain't, man, we probably ain't did that in a long time, right?
yeah.
But it was at a time though. We be had it started off as a friendly conversation that
Mm-hmm.
would move into a heated debate. That
Mm-hmm.
would move into I'm going my butt where
Home.
I reside and you go where you reside, and I'm gonna call your ass when I get home and say, hey.
Right.
But that that's what, if your friendship doesn't have a space like that, then that probably isn't your friend. And I want to hit them with a little hit them with that. If you the friend that don't get to have no opinion, run away. Run very fast. That's not a friendship. You should be able, as a friend, you should be able to have your own thoughts, views, and or opinions. We'll say that again. You have a friendship with someone and you can't have your thought on your own, not something that he told you to say before y'all got there, or not something that she told you to say before y'all got there, but your own thoughts, words, views, and or opinions, then run away from that person, because that person doesn't have good friendship characteristic traits. All right? Man, quick. That was a quick one on friendships. Jeez.
In
I
order
guess
to
a
have,
relationship
in order
between-
to be a friend, you got to show yourself friendly.
Right, Chad.
What are you
Right,
talking about?
Chad.
What are you talking about?
Show yourself to be friendly.
I do sometimes.
Y'all, we ain't friends no more. We used to go to Waffle House at 1 a.m. Then you got married. We can't go eat no more. We can't go to IHOP, Waffle House, all them fat places we used to go.
But I do bring you Mountain Dew.
Friendship is
Now,
paramount,
don't spend.
especially when you don't have sisters. In my case, friendships are paramount. You know,
That's why
friendships
we
stand
got
in the
each
gap.
other, Anese.
You know, they're your sounding board. That's right. They're your voices of reason. You know, they say, you got the clip. Oh no, I'm sorry. That's my friend. But no, friendships are your voice of reason. You know, they actually are there. They're your prayer partners. They're your go-betweeners. They're your voice of reasons. They're your proofers. They're intercessors. And believe it or not, even though you have open and honest relationships with your children, sometimes they're surrogate go-betweens for your children. Um, Sometimes they're there for additional counsel for you in those moments, you know? And so it's just imperative to have good friends. And they round out that body of believers, believing all things that are good and true for you. That's what makes good friends, because that's the kinship. Did y'all not hear me?
We did. Can you hear us, Anese? Yeah, we did. That is. And Anese, you said you don't have any sisters. I don't have any sisters. That's why God gave us each other, because He knew I needed somebody to help me deal with Hobart.
That's right.
Sorry about that, y'all. I don't know what I did wrong.
We love you.
Yep.
I love you more.
So I can say,
So,
I love you, Sissy Pooh.
I love you, Sissy Poos. Hey, so let's again move ahead, move further, move on. And this is the part I know she's waiting on. I'm typing, y'all. Don't pay me no attention. Relationships, the kind that happen between a husband and a wife, the kind that happens between a male versus a female. How does relationships grow into loving, nurtured things?
Just like a flower needs water, sun, rain, fertilizer, the seed has to be submerged in the environment in order for it to grow or bloom into something beautiful. That is the same analogy we have with our relationships. Um, you didn't even ask me to go, did you? I just started talking.
You always go. I'm used to it now.
So that same thing we need with marriage or male female relationship. Time. You have to invest time into getting to know the person that you are with. Um, you have to invest time in knowing what their wants, needs, and desires are. You have to invest time in knowing what your own wants, needs, and desires are. Because here go my favorite line: to thine own self be true. So if you don't know you, you can't even present you to nobody else for them to know. Um, and so what they get is a cheap copy of what they think you want. And they start to maneuver and work around what they think you want because they don't really know who you are, what you want, what your desires are, or what your needs are. And so a cheap copy looks just like the original until you get close to it. And then you see all the imperfections. When we learn what a person is, what they need, what they want, and what they desire, and that is reciprocated to the other, then it becomes the seedling coming out of the pot, to say, and it blooms.
Well, let me ask you this, April. April, let me ask you this.
Go for it.
But aren't could it be? I'm gonna change. Could it be? Could it be that the that some of our imperfections is what makes us
Makes us the best me that we could
originally
ever
us?
be. Yes. Sometimes you got to have some bumps and some bruises and some
Okay,
scrapes.
so
But you got to know that. You got to
so
own
so
that.
so 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 right, right. So in my owning me and you loving me through my flaws and all and my imperfections and me knowing that and me being able to present that to you crystally clear. I'm making up a whole bunch of words tonight. Crystally clear to you. Isn't that saying this is who I am?
It is. And some people can't accept that either. And I'm not going to say that that doesn't mean that that's not the person for you, but everybody can't take you. Sometimes you're too much for some people. And so you have to learn who you're for as well. I will say, and I've talked about this previously, being married, that sometimes I may have given somebody too much of who I was, too much of those scars that I obtained previously, and they took that and ran with it for their benefits. But we can't allow the bumps
So
and the
so
bruises.
so wait before you keep going. So wait before you going. So you just said something. You chose, you showed, you disclosed. Is it our job to do that, or is it God's job to do that? Because God does the choosing, the picking, the showing, the disclosing at a rate and a level in which they
The
can
other
handle.
person can handle it and you can handle it. Exactly. That's why I said I gave too much. I'm
Oh,
telling you. To
Got it.
mine own
Got it.
self, listen, to mine own self, I'm true. And that's why I encourage people to get to know who they
Yes,
are,
ma'am.
because until you get to know who you are, you don't know where you're going. And so you're going to be out there looking for something and you're looking for the wrong thing.
Yes, ma'am.
So I was out there looking
Yes,
for
ma'am. And I think that sometimes people and sometimes I think that people make that mistake of looking when they shouldn't be looking outwardly, but looking inwardly. And oftentimes we bypass the mirror versus spending time in the mirror. Hobart, write that one down. Write that one down, Hobart. That was for
Amen,
you to write
lights
that one
and
down. Write that
walls.
one down, Hobart. Write that one down, Hobart. Write that one down, Hobart. Write that one down, Hobart. We spend too much time walking past the mirror versus time in the mirror because we want to go run past the mirror, not turn the flashlight on to see the ugly parts, the parts that need cleaning out, and spending time with those because it hurts, because it's dirty, because it's filthy, and because it's the truth. And my favorite Jack Nicholson line, you can't handle the truth when the truth is ours and our story alone to tell. See, and then what happens is when we hear the truth told back to us, then we want to get PO'd, P off, and upset and all that stuff when it's ours. But we don't like it when it comes back into our hearing. But when it comes up out of our belly, it feels so much cleaner, crisper, and truer because it comes from a real place. So if we're going to talk about relationships, we need to relate with ourselves first and the God in us. Because God said everything I made was good.
That's right.
You writing that one down, Hobart? I'm going to pick on him tonight since he's going to come up with this, how much loyalty costs. It already, Jesus paid it all.
Look, I'm gonna take him off the hot seat. At least Coach E can go with this one.
Right.
This
Coach
E.
Since we're here, and that is a really true, that is a really true statement that you made. Sometimes we do walk past the mirror too much instead of stopping and looking at ourselves and digging deep inside of us, because that's what that extra thing is. That's what that extra love is. That's what that extra care is. That's what that extra piece of compassion that tastes like sweet potato pie is. And so in the process of that, though, I got a question. And it means something to me because it's always somebody saying, well, I was trying to tell you I was unhappy, or I was trying to tell you that I didn't like my neck stroked that way, or my foot rubbed this way, or don't touch my booty. But we seem to always forget that just because we can see other people's faults, that people can see our faults as well. And that's the part where you have to stop and look in the mirror and say, well, damn, what did I not contribute to this relationship? Or what did I contribute to this to get it to this point? Or why should only my feelings matter? I shouldn't care about their feelings? A lot of times, one second, please. A lot of times we only want our feelings considered in relationships, in marriages. Well, hell yeah, I didn't do it on purpose. Because I wanted to show you how it felt to be ignored too. I like to be loved. I have a certain.
But is that the right way? But Hobart.
Don't
Hobart. No, I'm not butting you, but I need you to listen to this. Listen to what you just said. Hell yeah, I didn't do that because I wanted you to see how that felt. How selfish does that sound? That should have felt like bile and venom
It didn't. It
spewing
didn't.
off
It
of your
didn't
lips.
because again,
Listen to what you said. Listen
I
to what you
said
said.
I did it on purpose.
You said, I withheld love from you. When the Father withholds
It may
no
not be
good
that I
thing from
withheld
you.
love. It may be I didn't come when you called me. It may be, hell, I don't want my dinner tonight.
That's love. That's love. That's love. That's a form of love. That's a form of love.
But again, though,
that is a form of love in some shape, form, or fashion. That's love in some shape, form, or fashion. If you say I intentionally withheld it.
We playing table tennis?
No. I just went by what you said.
I got a wicked backhand.
Chad.
Okay,
Chad, I just went by what he said. He said what he said was, and I called Chad in because he's listening quietly and attentively. He said, I withheld that because I wanted you to see how that felt.
You forgot a part.
When you said that said that
I did it on purpose.
Right, on purpose. That means you intentionally did that thing. To do that intentionally means that was with what?
With love
malice.
On my end, because why should I have to hurt and then other people don't feel the same hurt sometimes that I feel?
So how about this?
You don't hurt. God will take care of you.
But how about this? So I think too, we need to look at what type of relationship we are in. Okay. Because I've mentioned this once before on the show. Are we in a contractual relationship or are we in a covenant relationship? Because if it's contractual, then we going tit for tat. You know, if you do this, then I do that. If I get this, I get that. If I feel this way, you should feel that way. But if you're in a covenant relationship,
if it's contractual, can I just pay for the booty and leave? I'm sorry.
Hey man, but I mean, you making light of it, but I'm serious though. Like, so if it's covenant, then in spite of your flaws and these misunderstandings and all of these different types of things, I'm still gonna behave in the manner in which I'm supposed to. Because what you do is not contingent on what I do or how I react. Because I have an exclusive investment in you. Exclusive that no one else gets. And I'm going to treat you, regardless to how you treat me, I'm going to treat you a certain way, not for your sake, for my sake.
Stop all that old physical.
But it's not. But it's not. But look, because at the end of the day, you said, I want you to feel how I feel. No, that's what you said. I want you to feel how I feel as a result of this. But at the end of the day, it's you the one that's hurting. That person may not feel any of it. None of it. You the one that's hurt. And by you doing that, does it make you feel any better? Nope. You're not getting anything out of it. You're not getting anything out of it.
You feel better.
Are you? Because you're still gonna be hurt. You just hurt somebody else. That's just like that's why we have gun violence. That person shot my boy.
Man.
It's the same thing.
Hands down, Alvin Kamara. I have a point to make. Can I make my point? Go.
But I'm telling you,
Kamara.
You talking about peace for yourself? It should be peace. There's no peace in hurting someone else.
None.
intentionally.
Here go another one of my favorite.
None.
To prove a point.
Here go another one of my favorite sayings, and you should know them by now. You should know them like as if you were saying them yourself. My love is not contingent on how you treat me, because I'm going to treat you
Absolutely.
how I want to be treated.
Right.
That's unconditional love,
Right.
which is the love the Father gave to us. And if you are not willing to give someone unconditional love, then don't be asking my daddy to give you that same love.
Let me tell you something, little waterhead girl. Don't be rolling.
That's right. That's right. And he
don't be rolling.
No good thing will he withhold from you.
Watch.
And what stops the circle? What stops the circle? What stops the circle?
Again, this is the issue that I got. People always asking someone else to accept.
It's not contingent. It's not contingent on what they want or what they expect from you, but what you're expecting.
You live with that. You live with how you treat people isn't contingent on how they upon
Guess
how
what?
they treat
The
you.
Father pays. The Father pays. You don't pay. He said, "Vengeance is mine."
I didn't get no
They
vengeance.
did you wrong.
So
He'll
it's
pay
a
them
difference
back.
from getting vengeance and not listening. Me not listening is a personal choice. They ain't got nothing to do with vengeance. Not one time did I mention vengeance. What I said was I made a valid choice because of how I was feeling about how I was being treated to not do something.
That still is. Repayment is vengeance. Repayment is vengeance. Repayment is vengeance.
What does repayment got to do with this? I ain't loaned nobody no money.
Hold on. So hold on. Let me give you this example. You know,
use a thesaurus.
No, let me give you this example.
Maybe he can hear a female voice.
Let me give you an example. I got a kid.
Use gender.
I got a kid that comes in my office in a crisis, right? All right. And on my wall in my office is the definition of respect. Having regards for others' thoughts, feelings, having regard for another person's thoughts, feelings, traditions, and wishes. All right. So a kid comes in my office, all right, upset, and I'm trying to understand what's going on, and he curses me out. All right.
You earned it.
He's violated. He's violated, you know, the atmosphere of my office, the mantra of my office. Would it be right for me to disrespect him in this situation, in this crisis? Because guess what's gonna happen? Hold up. Because what's gonna happen is we're gonna have a circle of disrespect. All right. So in my office, I don't. I just sit there and I listen. All right. And then once this kid comes out of this situation, circumstance, this kid all knows that he could come there, and I'm going to treat him, even in his flaws, I'm going to treat him with a certain level of dignity and respect, even when he's being disrespectful. All right. And what it creates is a situation where he could trust that no matter what, I'm gonna treat him right. And then it gives him an opportunity, with him seeing the example that I set, for him to with me modeling it, he could do it as well. So because they always come back and say, you know what, coach, you know, I was wrong. I shouldn't have cursed you out in this situation. You was just trying to help me. It happens 98% of the time. And what I'm saying is, you know, doing what the situation you just described, how does that help you in your crisis? It doesn't. It just creates another circle of the same mess. The mess. At least the mess. That's the mess.
Is that the messy man? Is that the messy man?
The mess.
The mess.
So no, for real though. Like again, any time that you deal with the male and female of relationship, again, if one person is giving 50%, they're not giving enough. Because at the end of the day, I learned a long time ago.
It should be 100, 100.
Exactly. That if you aren't giving 100% of yourself to that thing, then you got issues. And the issues are going to go beyond, the issues are going to go further than the human eye can see, because you've only given 50% of yourself. And you want me to accept that as being factual? Hell no. I cannot accept that. And then now, and this is not personal, this is just how I feel. Especially after a 23-year loss. Nah, I can't accept shit but 100. If you as a woman aren't willing to give
Why
me,
do you call it a loss? Why do you call it a loss rather than a lesson?
If you don't have those things you acquired anymore,
did you choose?
Then you lost it.
You know exactly where it is. You didn't lose it.
I can't feel it, see it, touch it every day when I choose to. It's a loss.
Well, why can't you count it up to it as an experience that has?
Hell no.
It is.
I don't want that kind of experience.
Because what is life? A sum of experiences that you learn from.
Chad. Give it up,
daily.
Chad. Give it up, then, Chad.
Daily experiences.
Right.
Shut up, sis.
Give it up, not the first. You're not the first one that had a 21-year life experience, and you definitely won't be the last one. But guess what you do have? You have that experience that you can show, lead, and guide someone
15 over here
on the things that you learned from that experience.
15 over here.
I did this. Maybe I wouldn't do that anymore.
We know a person that we both know in common, and when somebody's saying some stuff that he doesn't want to hear, he says something that sounds like this: do 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 do. I got your Mountain Dew if you tell me who that is, Chad. There's initials at least. You know what I'm talking about? So, again, why is it that one half has to settle and the other one doesn't?
So let's change the subject, because you must
why
admit.
We can't talk about this
right now. Listen, because right now you must admit that you're being subjective rather than objective, and that's not a fair space for you to be right now.
No, but how is what I'm saying subjective? It's
because it's your opinion. It's your subjective opinion.
It's your opinion. It's your opinion, and you're being subjective and not objective.
Hey, so that's for you, baby. So I ain't went to psychology school. I ain't go to medical school. I don't have a bachelor's or associates. I definitely don't have a PhD. All my educational gifts together, you know, I've been through a few community colleges. I got some education. I'm a pretty smart guy. But at the end of the day, this is what I can't get the three of you to understand. Don't ask someone to be okay with accepting 50% of someone, especially when that person that
we didn't say two.
Do you have the ability to change that person?
No, but
you don't have the.
Did you cause that?
Ain't nobody asked you to accept nothing. But let me tell you something. Here's the other. Here's the thing.
How you talking?
Here's the thing that we didn't address. When you go into a relationship, this is the contractual part of the covenant relationship. You are agreeing to accept that person just as they are, faults and all, and we're going to work together and allow God to lead and direct us in the direction that we would go. And He gonna lead and direct you so good that you ain't even gonna be able to see Him because some blind is gonna be up. You're gonna be like, oh, she the best.
Okay. Here you go. Here you go, April. You ready for this part? You right? Watch out now. Watch out now. Did you choose or did God choose?
What?
Silence
Who chose?
of the Lambs.
So everybody, so they be trying to play on my top, y'all, because they be trying to get me to conform and shit on conform. I've been running from God for about 15 years. I'm not going to stop today.
And don't tell nobody else that. Period, Pooh.
I told you about period.
He said running for or running from?
So
he said from, you heard him.
You know, see that's message. That was messages. Big spook.
Dad, you might want to move your box right now.
Little sister Pooh. I muted you once, don't make me mute you again.
I ain't scared of you. Ain't nothing you can do to me.
I ain't mute you, I muted my other sister. But I love both of y'all so much.
That's all right. We both would take it.
Unmute yourself.
Just like you muted me, I unmuted myself.
Understand, huh? Okay. One more verse in relationships between men and women, because that's all I acknowledge.
That's why he tried to save it to the end, like we wouldn't have no win beneath ourselves.
Give me some of them.
Because he wanted to make this last part, section Hobart. It's not potato chips, it's trail mix.
It had Nathan, what is that? Reebok. Reebok make juice now?
This is trail mix if you pay attention.
Oh yeah, I don't eat trail mix. I want from that too. So let's be clear on this. Relationships are A, 0, B, 25, C, is not always right, 75, or D, 100% of love that equates to a better friendship in life. Put your hand down and let me finish first.
I got a question.
You always got a question.
Or unconditional.
Okay.
Unconditional.
Okay. This is vital to your what you said.
Unconditional.
What is your definition of love?
What she just said.
Ding, 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 ding.
That's what I got, and that's what I give. I only know one way to love. You can say that all you want, actually, your husband. I love an agape.
Y'all seen that little baby on Facebook?
She like that answer. Look, my connection didn't even like that answer. It just messed up on me.
Say y'all, I had to put my sister in timeout for 3 seconds. She back now, y'all.
You gonna just cut me out like that? You gonna treat me like all the mother suckers that I made? That's how you gonna do me?
Hey y'all, so look, let's talk about this real quick. The last one, and I'm telling y'all, I'm gonna have so much good stuff to say about this last relationship.
It must be children.
And you know it. How does the relationship manifest further between mother and father versus son versus daughters? How can you love your children more from a perspective of ensuring that they are getting the right things in growing up? Because we know past 10, kids start thinking for itself. After 12, they're locked into who they are and who they're gonna be. Who gonna take that first?
They all get grown and move out and leave you on your own.
I'm waiting for that.
That happens.
I'm there. And if my kids is listening, I love y'all. But I'm an empty nester.
We hate
Wait
you.
till Hobart gets there.
Well, I don't know.
Wait till Courtney move out. Then wait till Hobart. Wait till Courtney move out and see how Hobart feel there.
I can't wait.
He gonna be driving to school every weekend.
Look, no, for real. I took Courtney to the LSU Hale State volleyball game today, man. It's just the coolest thing, bonding with your children, bro. Like, I don't understand how parents throw their kids away, or child abuse, or let people rape their children. You're a horrible person for that, because we had so much fun at the game. It was the bomb diggity. Shout out to my three, Devontae, Jermaine, Hobart George, and Courtney Anna. Daddy loves y'all. Y'all are the best kids ever. Shout out to your kids, boy. You got about 8 of them.
Who? Not me. I have 3. No, I just, man, I'm telling you, I enjoy my kids, and I guess everybody have those moments when they get on your nerves, but it's just a part of the growing process. Actually, it's a growing process for not only them, but it's a growing process for us too, because we learn who we are in them sometimes. So, I just feel like we just need to invest in our kids. We need to teach our kids. We need to guide them.
I say shout out to them. Don't talk about their character.
No, I'm gonna do it my way. My way. You gonna mute me?
All right, Frank. Go ahead, Frank.
But Jace, Marche, and Cassidy. Yep, that's my 3, and we have a good time all the time.
All right, shout out to your 4, Sissy Pooh. Sissy Pooh to the right, to my right, to my left, not below me. Diagonal.
We got 5, so you wasn't talking to me.
Alfred.
5.
So he can come back. He lost one of my children.
Harrington, Jerusalem, Alfred.
He said, you got a son named Harrington? I don't know about.
Harrington. Why was I thinking Arrington? That boy that ain't stole the W. Shit.
Now you say Harrington.
I did not.
Now he didn't change from Harrington to Harrington.
You gonna stop playing on my time?
Nice. You wanna work on another baby?
Oh yeah.
Wellington, Tyree.
Congrats.
Maxwell,
I like it.
St. John.
Hey y'all, we about to be one more family member stronger. Alfred and Anese are about to make babies.
What you said?
You muted, I can't hear you. You muted, I can't hear you.
I'm not muted. What did you say?
You muted, I can't hear you. You muted.
Oh my.
Hey y'all, we're gonna be so glad to welcome the addition of the Colliers. Coming soon, and y'all ain't welcome to her beautiful home. Come on, shout out them babies, man. Oh, y'all, your kids grown.
That would be me?
Yes. Yeah.
My children are grown. Alfred Jr., Wellington East, Tyree Rashad, Maxwell St. John, Jerusalem Truth.
I missed
Jerusalem
one.
Truth.
No, I missed the one before Jerusalem.
We know you did.
Yeah, I had to.
Maxwell St. John.
Oh, damn, I forgot about Max. All right, Max, are you? I know your 19 kids, bro. You don't even have to shout them out.
First of all, I don't have 19, but mine are important and their Black lives do matter. I'm rolling my
You
neck
got black
again,
kids?
as you can see. White,
You got black
Hispanic,
kids?
white, Hispanic, green, purple, orange, and blue. And they all call you Uncle Who. Now, Team
I want.
3KO, as they affectionately call themselves, plus KLC, Kenyatta, Christopher, Kiana, and Lakaya Chardonnay is my bonus baby.
I can't stand you. Always rolling your neck at somebody, Buster. Hey y'all, but hey, look, for real deal, man. Relationships are really important. Make sure that no matter the relationship, and we're gonna let Anese close out the show today, but make sure you entrust your relationships with the right type of love. On you, sis. You gotta
So
be
as
loyal.
we have journeyed through, can you hear me? So as we had journeyed through the various types of relationships, they all boil down to one, and that is they must all be enveloped in love. Wherever you go, you are the key essential element. And where you go, you must allow your light to shine. You are the light, you must be the light, and you must shine your light. You must model the world, you must be the connecting key, and you must be symbol of hope for the future. You must be the promise for tomorrow, and you must walk the walk and talk the talk. Until next week, continue to light the way, develop a path, and be you.
Awesome sauce. Awesome sauce. Great word. Hey, bro, come on back in real quick. Do this. Hey, I'm gonna say one part, you say another part, you say another part, you say another part. I'm gonna start. Remember,
Get up.
Chadwick,
Get
April,
in the.
You're muted.
who muted?
Game.
Chad.
Today.
Yay! Hey, nah, thank y'all, man. It's a joy coming on here every week, man, talking about real life issues, real life situations, and these are definitely real life people. Um, our NPT will be back next week with words of wisdom on diabetes. So, hey, if you have diabetes or you know someone with diabetes, tell them to make sure they tune in next Sunday, 7:30 p.m. for our medical minute. Um, and we love you guys, man. It's real. It's a lot of fun for tonight's show. And again, next Sunday, I think we have week 8 after this week. I remember we did 4 weeks straight. We missed a week, and we've been back the last 3 weeks. So next week will, I believe, be week 8. I lost count. Probably bad.